series review of the Mediator series by Meg Cabot. So I had recently decided to reread this series, and since I just finished it in August, I thought this would be the perfect time to do a series review. And this series is... hold on. They all don't fit in my hands. Oh yes they do, yay! It is a 6-book series, and there is, in the last couple of years, a adult follow-up book that was released called Remembrance, which I own but have not read, but plan to do so soon, but that is not included in this series review. So like I said, it is 6 books. They're young adult paranormal, and they are written around the time of the early 2000s, and I would give the series as a whole 4 stars. It's a solid 4-star series. And just real quick, I'll show you what each of the books are. So the first one is called Shadowland, then Ninth Key, Reunion, Darkest Hour, Haunted, and the last one is Twilight. So the synopsis of this story is that you have Suze, who's 15, 16 years old, and her mom ends up moving her from New York to California because she meets a new guy and is marries him and everything. So she needs to move to California where he is. However, along with all of this drama of her mom getting remarried after her father passed away when she was younger, she's a mediator. So she sees ghosts and helps them pass on to whatever is next in their life. However, sometimes she needs to use physical force. She can be a little sassy pants. So along with dealing with new family, new friends, a new school, she has to deal with new ghosts, especially a hot ghost in her bedroom. So my thoughts on this series is that I really like it. I've read the series 3 or 4 times, I think, at this point. It is definitely dated. You can tell it's from the early 2000s, both in the word choice, which is kind of hard to get away from. Something that in any book that takes place in a contemporary setting, it's hard for that to maintain a classic feel. It's one of the reasons I like historicals, so you can avoid all that. But also just the style it's written in, and some of the choices that Meg Cabot makes with her characters, I feel wouldn't fly as much nowadays. I still really enjoy it. It's fast-paced and exciting, and I don't typically like any kind of stories that involve ghosts, but these I'm able to handle. Sometimes it gives me a little bit of creeps, but it's really not creepy at all. It's just that I have a very low tolerance for that. But it's super fast-paced. It has tons of humor. Suze is very funny, although she is a little impulsive and immature, but I find that she does grow up fairly well throughout the series, and there is a nice romance in the books. It's very slow, and it's not over the top or anything, so I think if you're not super into romance, it probably wouldn't bother you too much. Maybe as the series continues on, it becomes a bigger and bigger focus, but it's more of Suze thinking about things than actual things happening. And while I did say that it is funny, there is a good amount of tension and mystery. A lot of the books, while you do have these overarching plots with Suze and the romance and her family and everything, you do have these individual storylines following different ghost stories, usually ghosts who have stories kind of thing. So the last thing, all of my recommendations, is would I recommend this? And I'm gonna say yes. So especially if you like Meg Cabot's books, if you read her other young adult books, I think you should give these a try. You would probably still like them, especially if you've read the 1-800 Where Are You series. I should really reread those too. I think that you would probably like these. It doesn't have the same feeling as a lot of other paranormal YA that you read, especially now. It's not super angsty or broody or anything like that. So it's kind of fun to have something a little different, and I enjoy them. But of course I do. Why else would I read them so many times? So those are my quick thoughts on the Mediator series. I don't think I went into a ton of detail, but because there's a lot of mystery and everything in here, I don't want to do too much. and potentially give anything away. But if you have any questions or comments about these, feel free to let me know down in the comments. Or if you've read these books before and you love them as well, or if you hate them, that's cool too. You can leave those comments. I would appreciate it. So thank you so much for watching.